LG's been gone for 2 years now. Oh, their phones, anyway. So I was thinking about this, and I talked about it briefly in a video the other day because I feel like the mobile industry is actually maybe worse off since LG has left the storefronts. And I always hold out hope that they'll come back. It's actually funny. I was trying to figure out how to title this video, and I was thinking about it, and LG was never known for having really good software support, and it's just funny to me that they're actually, of course, they're still supporting the V60, and they said they were going to support it beyond the closing time frame. They were still going to provide software updates and stuff like that. And yeah, they got Android 13 here in the US for the V60, and it's funny because I said that LG is better, doing better from beyond the grave, and it's interesting. But yeah, I think that it's been 2 years, and look, whenever phone brands die, there's always a certain amount of sentiment. I mean, there were LG fans. I loved LG phones. And honestly, the two big things that I had going content-wise 2 years ago were BlackBerry and LG phones. And I think a lot of people appreciated my measured and kind of just my typical authentic and, of course, oftentimes critical approach to phones. And a lot of folks really liked my videos for like the V60, the G8, and for the LG Velvet, even the Wing. And it's funny because 2 years ago were some of the best phones that I think LG made. LG was always best when they were being creative and trying to find new ways to do things differently in a meaningful way. And I think the Wing had some cool things going for it. It was kind of like a last ditch effort thing, and I get that, but I don't think that any one phone was going to make their handset division successful. And here's the thing. Why did LG stop making phones? Because you can still clearly walk into Walmart. You can walk into Best Buy. You can walk into a lot of different places. You still see the LG name tag. Life is good. Air conditioners. They've got TVs. And of course, their OLED panels are regarded as some of the best in the industry. I think they're the best. I like them. I've got an LG OLED TV. The thing's amazing. They've got washers and dryers. I think you've got like vacuum cleaners, microwaves, all sorts of things. So why was their phone handset division closed up shop? Like, clearly they're here. It's not like BlackBerry, who went from being like the #1 phone maker in the world to like being broke. That's not what happened to LG. LG, I guess maybe they saw the writing on the wall. Maybe they learned some things from other handset divisions. I mean, we've seen phone companies come and go. We've seen Nokia go and come back to life. We've seen HTC is gone. Motorola kind of got bought out by Lenovo and gave it a new lease on life. I mean, there's been a lot of players that have like exited stage right over the last couple of years, last 5 years. Most notably for me, BlackBerry, and then LG. And it was like, why can't I catch a break? Why do my favorite brands keep leaving? Right? So yeah, they were losing $1 billion a year. And I think when you're losing $1 billion a year and then going through the pandemic, and of course, we all know about all the problems we had with the supply chain issues, trying to get chips, trying to get displays, all the different things driving up costs and prices. I think maybe they might have made a smart move. And I still hold out hope. And people ask this question. I mean, everybody thought for the longest time, and of course, Windows operating system for the phones died, BlackBerry 10 died. I mean, there's been so many things that have come and gone through the years. But when your brands are still alive, you sit there and think, can they possibly come back one day? And I think they could, because, I mean, clearly they make money. One of the biggest electronics companies in the world. I think like #2 outside of Samsung globally, maybe #3. But either way, they make tons of money. They do a pretty good job. They make quality products. I mean, one of the very first smartphones I ever got was an LG. And the best flip phone back in the day, this was back before the Razor came out. I had an old LG flip phone, and I loved that thing. Worked for forever. And then whenever it came to the smartphone world, my very first Android phone that I really enjoyed was my LG G2. And I was like, there's something special here. The LG G2 was a great phone. One of the best phones of that year. I had the original G Flex. I had the G Flex 2. I had the G3. I didn't have the G4. I hated the G5. Always wanted the G6. Never got it. And that was kind of when things started going downhill. And I remember when they were Sprint, and they were offering a free LG TV if you bought an LG G6. And then they basically created the BOGO. I mean, I had to Google what BOGO was because I didn't know what does BOGO mean? buy one, get one, right? So, and you knew things were bad when you could buy an LG G8 and get a free one with it. I didn't buy my LG G8 from a carrier. I got it straight off of like a third-party retailer called Swappa, not a retailer, but like a resale shop kind of. It was a good place to sell phones on the internet, buy and sell used phones and stuff. I bought one sealed the box for like $380 a day it came out, because you knew they were going to do the buy one, get one. They were going to give you like the gift cards to pay it off, so people would buy them, get both of the phones, and then turn around and sell one immediately to recoup the price on it and then pocket the money. It was a thing. So I bought the LG G8 like the day it came out for basically like $380. And it was even funny. There was this thing, and LG did like a contest thing on Twitter, and it was like, what would it take for you to switch to LG? And I was like, well, I was just being facetious, and I said a year's supply of ramen, replying to their little giveaway thing, little contest. And crazy enough, they selected me. 3 giant boxes of ramen showed up on my doorstep. And of course, I did go buy the LG G7. It was part of the LG G7 ThinQ stuff, and I still think they need to ditch that. But I didn't understand, like, why are you calling this the LG G7 5G ThinQ, whatever? Like, just ditch the... They could never get naming right. I mean, there was just a lot of things they didn't get right. Things kind of, like I said, the G6, they lost out on the Snapdragon 835 because Samsung helped make that. Qualcomm worked together with Samsung to help produce the 835 chip, so they were the first ones to get their hands on it. Well, LG usually put their phone out like just a little bit before the Samsung phone to try and get some of the sales, and they had to release the LG G6 with the Snapdragon 821, if I believe, and then it just, well, like a month later got obliterated by the new Snapdragon 835 and the Samsung Galaxy S8. And the S8 was a glorious phone, fantastic phone. Really the first phone since the Samsung Galaxy S3 that I think made me fall in love with the Samsung phones. And I've been carrying and buying them frequently since then. And to this day, like, my favorite Samsung and probably phone color is the Orchid Gray, which is an amazing color, by the way. I wish they would bring that one back. So, yeah, I think they could re-enter the marketplace at some point in time. They have the money for it, but they would need to do it in a smarter way, a more streamlined way. Probably maybe a reduction in the footprint on the industrial manufacturing side. Maybe do something more akin to what Google is doing, except like not using the Samsung Exynos chip and getting a Qualcomm chip put in their phone. I could see them doing something like that in the future, because their heart has always been in the handset division. They've made phones for a long time, and it would be cool to see. And I think that the marketplace, I think the phone landscape is worse with them not being here, because Samsung, other manufacturers, especially the ones in the US, I think they get kind of lazy. I mean, LG was there for a long time helping to keep Samsung honest, as Samsung tries to keep like iPhone and other brands honest, because the more competition you have, the more innovation you have, the more price competition you have, the more different ways that you can get things that, I don't know, maybe stand out and make something, it just checks the boxes you need the most, and not always relying on, oh, we'll just get a rehash of the same Samsung or the same iPhone every year, right? I mean, I don't know that OnePlus or Motorola, or I don't know that they're necessarily driving a lot of innovation on the Samsung side, trying to make them compete, because they have it pretty locked down, especially in the US and even globally in a lot of markets when it comes to Samsung. So, RIP, rest in peace, LG handset division. I hope they come back one day. Who knows if they will? I mean, I don't know. I don't have a crystal ball. Just saying that at some point in time, maybe as the economy recovers, maybe if we get back to a pre-2020 time frame in our life again, yeah, maybe they'll be smart and do things in a better, more efficient way, and not trying to do something like that weird HTC, Desire like 20 or something. I don't know what it was. There were a couple of phones that HTC tried to bring back. The cryptocurrency one or whatever it was not it. But, hey, I'm always here to see brands try, because the more they try to innovate, the better things that ultimately we get, and we find what works and what doesn't in this crazy smartphone world. So, to all you out there who loved LG, my heart goes out to you. I hope you're still enjoying. There's still people I get comments from saying, I'm still happy with my V60. And I'm so happy for you that you got Android 13, at least here in the US. Hopefully that proliferates out to the rest of the world. I didn't look in Google to see what all markets it's in, but I saw it said about it a little while ago, about a week. It seemed like it rolled out, and happy to see that. So continue using it as long as you can, and who knows what the future holds, but it's just really interesting for me to see LG continuing to support those phones from beyond the grave when they didn't give almost that much attention or support to their previous handset divisions when they were still actively making phones. So that's all I've got. Thank you for watching this. I know this wasn't really quite the video that you probably expected to see today, but 2 years, it's been a while, and still sitting around wondering, waiting, and watching what happens with LG, but happy to see they're still supporting their phone. So that's all I've got. If you have any questions or comments, any cool LG stories you want to share, then please go into the comment section. Of course, it's always enjoyable. And if you enjoyed the video, please hit the like and the subscribe button and a little notification bell if you want updates when new videos come out. And as always, thanks for being here. I appreciate you watching. I'll see you guys next time.